Ladies. Hello.
Hello, Smudgy.
Hey, Smudgy. Hi, ladies.
Oh,
Hi, Jules. Guys, we have a pretty cool episode today because it's a brand new thing.
it's a brand new thing.
So we will be occasionally inviting guests on the pod to celebrate some big moments in their audio erotica life. And today is our first installment of Monumental Moments.
Oh, endless hours we put in,
I mean,
citizens, to these either segment titles or episode titles. This one goes down to Kaza.
for days,
Yes.
back and forth, we were on meetings for hours.
Oh, took up so much time.
Yeah, really. But once again, I won the naming contest because it's me.
Yes, she did, and you're so humble about it,
I
Kaza.
know. Sorry.
And it was the first. It was the first one. So what are we going to call this then? And Kaza comes up with, well, how about monumental moments? And we were like, oh yeah, we laughed in the
They
WhatsApp
went,
group. And then we spent the next few days trying to come up with something, and we had made a list, and then all of a sudden it was like, actually, monumental moments is great.
Perfect.
Citizens,
Very
you
on
hear
brand.
how I'm doubted at every turn.
Get over it.
I'm the best neighbor. So our first monumental moments is with the one and only Mr. John York,
Yes, it is.
who has just hit 1 million plays on Quinn.
1 million.
Plays.
Yes, we have John York.
Fantastic. Buckle in.
For our citizens who don't know who John is, Jules, did you want to fill them in a little bit?
I would
Careful.
love to. Careful. John. So, John York is an audiobook narrator and erotic audio creator whose voice has been known to cause flutters, blushes, and the occasional headphone emergency. With a gift for storytelling and a tone that slides smooth as silk, John brings characters and fantasies to life. Whether he's narrating steamy bestsellers or delivering intimate moments on Quinn. Equal parts golden retriever charm and silver-tongued menace, he's built a loyal fan base who come for the voice and stay for the vibes. John is passionate about crafting immersive, pleasure-forward content and creating a space where imagination, connection, and consent lead the way. Let's welcome John back to the QuinnCast studio.
Woo! Hey, John.
Hello. How are you doing?
Oh, we were just talking about the very first moment that, we had you on the podcast before, John.
Yeah.
Aww.
It's a long time ago now. We feel like we were babies. We were so nervous. We were on the call about 2 hours before you guys jumped on, and we were like, "Oh my god," because you were our very first.
Wow.
Yes.
Well,
So,
yeah.
I mean, we were so appreciative that you guys even took a chance on us to come on as a guest because we're like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Oh, yeah. I barely
Of
spoke
course.
in the first episode. Are you kidding me? I was like, me.
That's true.
So yeah, not only was it our first one, we had both of you in 2 different locations. So there was like 5 of us.
What were we thinking? It was ambitious, but it came out great. Hey, it has like some of our top plays, I gotta say.
There we go. That's what we want.
Yeah. Congratulations on hitting 1 million.
Thank you very much.
So how does it feel knowing that your voice has been heard over 1 million times and in such intimate moments?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's like one of those things, when you sort of feel like, when you sort of think about like how big the universe is and your brain can't really quite comprehend the sort of scale. That's exactly how I feel about like the numbers on Quinn. It's just sort of too big for my little brain that I need to, I can't start thinking about it because if not, I'm like, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I start to get a little bit freaked out.
I mean, did you at the start, do you think you were going to get to 1 million? What was the number when you started? What was the number in your head of, oh my God, if I get this many plays, I'll be really happy?
Again, no, I didn't really have a number sort of in mind. I suppose it was 100,000. I didn't expect to hit. I can't remember how long it took me to hit 100,000, but I don't think it was very long. But still, it was like that was like my number of like that's insane. And when I first joined and I was like looking at the other creators, I was like, how would you ever get to a number like that? Like, how would you, and
Yeah.
especially because I didn't come from like a big platform or I didn't have a community like coming in before and stuff. So I was very comfortable and very much expecting low, like a really slow sort of start. And I think like my first one got like a decent amount considering. I was just more thrilled that anybody, I mean, genuinely anybody was listening.
Nice.
Do you keep an eye on? I know you're talking about the bigger number as it keeps
Mhm.
increasing, but do you still look and want certain views and would like certain views on each individual audio?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I think, yeah, I'd be totally lying to you if I said that I didn't, at least wonder, because like certain things like week to week, it does like differ, and some drops like some I can put my heart and soul in something, and it just sort of not do as well as like other things, and you immediately go, well, what was wrong with it? What was, what am I doing wrong with this? And it's not the case at all. It could be any reason. It's so sort of flippant in that regard, but. Yeah, I do sort of check in, but it's mostly about the reactions rather than the numbers. Like if it had 100 plays, but yet there was like 95 comments going, "This is the best thing I've ever heard." You go, "Ooh, thank you." Or on the flip side, if it got like 100,000 plays and it was people were nonplussed, or there was two comments going, "Okay," or "Looking forward to next week," or something like that. And so I would much rather have it's all mostly about the feedback, I think. Or it is for me anyway.
I've always wondered about that way people play it. I mean, Kaza, Jules, when you listen to an audio, do you always comment if you really liked it, or is it sort of hit and miss on whether you do comment, but if you like it?
I always comment. Yeah, I always leave something cheeky usually after I listen if I really liked it. Yes. Do you, Kaz?
I don't always comment, mainly
Mhm.
just because it requires focus. So I have to really. Sometimes I'll go back like several days later. I'll be like, "Oh, that's right. I really liked that part of that audio," and I remember to come back and comment because I know how important they are. Like, and how like when you put any kind of art out into the world, for someone to give you any kind of feedback is massive.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
So, yeah.
started off with commenting on every audio that I listened to because I just felt that it was something that you could give back to the
Mhm.
person who put in the work and effort. And then it just got to the stage where I was just like, I was running out of things to say. And then I think I put on one of AJ's, that was very good with a thumbs up because I just run out of things to say.
I mean, those are the best comments. Are like the really sort of just plain, like there's no sort of bells and whistles. Like I enjoyed this. Like that always it always makes me laugh so much in the context of like what people are listening to. But I mean, yeah, I also Smudge, your comments are like legendary.
Oh,
Right?
So,
sure.
It's true.
but like no, I mean like I do appreciate, obviously, I do appreciate them, and they're very sort of needed. The comments for like the feedback and stuff, and they really do sort of improve your sort of experience of posting things. I must admit, like when I'm as a sort of listener and a viewer myself, I don't comment anything. I'm so much more of a lurker.
John, disgusting.
My favorite things in the world, I will not live. I could like if it's a social media post or if it's a song or if it's a whatever, it can be literally my favorite thing of that day, and they will never know. I'll just hide away in the darkness and appreciate from afar.
Oh my! So what you're saying is you like it, but you won't
Mhm.
give. You're a taker, not a giver. Yeah.
In that very specific area, I suppose so.
Love it. John Lurk.
Yeah.
I want to take you back before comments and back to
Mhm.
0 plays.
Mhm.
And want to know what was in your mind the night before your very first drop?
Oh, I was in bits. I was in absolute like so the my sort of journey onto Quinn was a little bit different from the sort of like traditional sort of setting in the sense of like I literally have had no idea where they kind of found me. And it was and I was aware of Quinn, but I wasn't like fully immersed in it because it wasn't it wasn't my area. It was always the kind of cool kids in the corner. So then when they approached me and said like, "Oh, do you want to give it a bash and have a crack?" And so I was like making something, and then we went through like a few little tweaks, and that was like quite a long process because everyone's really busy and it takes ages to get things approved and stuff. So there was like a period of a month where I didn't know whether it was kind of good enough or I didn't know if I'd sort of blown it or like there's all this sort of stuff, and then I didn't really know what it sort of entailed, so I didn't know if I wanted it. We got it confirmed and it was like it was going to my profile appeared. It was all very exciting, and then I started getting I started hearing or getting sent stuff from people going like, oh, look at all these comments like about like this new profile and all stuff like that, which was really scary. And then
Oh.
so I was that night before I knew it was coming out, I was just in a state of what is this going to sort of do? Is it going to do anything? And I think that was like the worst bit, because I didn't want to. I put so much sort of emphasis on it. My biggest fear was that no one would care whatsoever, you know?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
that was like my biggest fear. And then luckily it sort of went down quite well, and I was sort of refreshing as the comments were coming in, sort of refreshing. That was my first experience with like that many people sort of giving a shit.
Oh, wow.
So it was very sort of intoxicating. It was really what was really helpful was getting to know other creators as well. And I sent an MP3 of me like moaning and swearing profusely and all this sort of stuff. And there's like that was weird to me. Was that weird to you? And then meeting other creators going, "Oh yeah, it's really weird." And but don't worry. And then they kind of like took me under their wing and everything. So it was, I was really looked after at the start, which helped massively.
Who was the first creator you reached out to for some support?
It was either the devil, Mersey, or Tom. It was one of the it was one of the three. Although I started speaking to those three like really close together, and we sort of going back and forth and everything. And so it was one of those three. And those three guys are just delightful, and they were really sort of open and friendly with me. So it was we all became friends like really fast. And then I think I went and met Tom. I think Tom was like the first creator I'd met in real life, I think, unless he wasn't, and I apologize massively. But I think it was, I went to go meet Tom for the first time, and just immediately, he has such a comforting aura, like straight away, you just want to sort of dive into his arms. So it was, it was one of those three, I think, but I can't quite remember which one was the first.
Do you remember a certain piece of feedback or advice or guidance that they gave you? You don't have to identify which one, so you don't have to remember, but that stood out that you were like, oh, that's really helpful.
Just more like kind of looking at stuff, the way that kind of looking at this work really, because within like coming from the audiobook space, you kind of work, although it's one profession, of course, but you do one job and then you go on to the next and then the next. And like, especially working in the romance area, I can be like recording an audiobook for 2 days and then that's it. You sort of never really contact those people again, really. So it's really easy to kind of fly through things. So it's that kind of mindset shift, and also meeting people who's like, this is their entire lives, and this is like every waking moment they're thinking about this all the time, and they're getting better and getting better and getting better. And for me, like, I'm a bit of a all or nothing kind of guy, so that I came away from those experiences like super invigorated. I think also as well, I was looking for my kind of place in this kind of whole audio world, and then that just gave me an opportunity, and I saw that opening and dived into it.
Are you the same now as sort of that was your sort of first drop pre-Night Nerves? How are you now?
Oh, even worse. Yeah. No, it's I don't know if it's really relevant, but it's from the movie Her, where it's like people think that as love comes into your heart, it gets filled up, but it doesn't. It expands the more that you get more.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about nerves. So like you think like you can only as you sort of get that sort of anxiousness about things, you think, well, there's a limit to this before it kind of stops, and it's like, but no, it just keeps going and going and going. That's my experience. So I feel like I've got more riding on it now because I care so much. Because the idea of if you go through like a bit of a slow patch, or your stuff's not really connecting, you start thinking, oh, can I not do this anymore? Is there something wrong with that? For whatever reason. And I think I think a lot of people, if I can call myself one, I think a lot of like creative people fear that whatever it is that's sort of driving this will one day go away. So that's I think that's where a lot of the fear comes in for it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not like shaking and crying and having a panic attack every Monday night, but it is a very much when the drop comes out, that's my evening. It's me just checking everything and re-listening over and over again, going, I should have done that. Okay, that has anyone noticed that? Has anyone picked up on that bit? And we're good. We got away with it.
Wow.
I guess that shows your passion, though. I suppose, if you didn't have that and you didn't give a flying, monkeys about it, then it'd be,
Yeah.
you'd just be going, oh yeah, whatever. Is it Tuesday? Oh, is it? I'd forgotten. Yeah.
It gives
Who
you
cares?
not to be so over dramatic early on, but it gives you a reason. It gives you that purpose. It gives you that reason to sort of get up in the morning, which I really need. I need to sort of care. I need to be worried about something, otherwise I won't get anything done. So that's just a part of it. But I mean,
Yeah.
I see it as like a massively positive thing, definitely. I think that's what I love most about it as well, is that, if you do something and you kind of go, oh, I wish I didn't do it in that way. Well, you got another chance next week. So
Yeah.
it's quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could go back and re-record your very first audio, would you? Would
Oh
you?
God, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, you would.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I do it. I'd like to think that I do it better. I think a big sort of learning curve for me on the performance side of it was like less is more, because you kind of you look at like, okay, I want this audio to be like 20 minutes long, and then you go, well, and then you look at like I haven't said anything in 15 seconds. Well, I want to make sure that people know I'm still around. And so,
Yeah.
and it was like that kind of, you sort of realize you're listening to this and going like, if this was a real person that I was in bed with, I would tell them to shut the, like just chill a little bit, like enjoy the experience. So that was a learning curve for me, because you want to sort of, you want to go, this is my idea, everybody love it, and that's not the vibe. So yeah, I would certainly tone things down a little bit or something.
Well, like you said, it's not like, a 100-meter runner. They start
Yeah.
at the start line and they've got 100 meters in a straight line to run, and then they cross the finish line. Okay. So they can improve their times by increasing their leg strength or their movements or slipstream or whatever. Right. So, but you're doing an audio. It's not you're doing the same audio over and over again. You have
Yeah.
variations. You go from fantasy to degradation to sleep audios to, you're swapping and changing all the time. So how do you gauge what your audience needs, or if they did like it or didn't like it? How do you see it?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, there are like certain things where you think, okay, well, this suits me more than something else suits me, and that's just about being honest about who you are as a personality, and then also your voice as well. Like my voice I couldn't get away with saying some of the shit that some of the other creators can say, because their voice is sort of more suited to it, and that's great. We all have our sort of things, but I also think that like the reason why people enjoy these audios is because they come from real people. That's the very human side of this thing, and it's the personalities behind it. It's not just like phrases or catchphrases or the words or whatever. That's like by the by. It's the personality behind it that brings it. So you're kind of looking at like, okay, who am I? What do I sort of like? What do I feel more comfortable with? And then how do I sort of make that in like packaged in a way that's suitable for this medium? Like how am I sort of looking at it? Sometimes you're in the mood for this, and sometimes you're in the mood for that. And then on the flip side, you could do something completely different, because in the context, I'm trying something completely different.
Yeah.
But so you just sort of look at it like that. I think it all starts from within. It's a very sort of self-absorbed, or my process is very self-absorbed, and kind of like how would I sort of look at this? Because I think it just wouldn't be believable if not.
Yeah.
And it is such like a risk of trying to sound more like, how do I sound more like a bad boy? And you're like, well, it's not happening for you, is it, mate? Like you've got to, you've got to do it in your own way, because otherwise people
Stay in your lane, John. Stay in your lane.
I think so, yeah. And then also you can have fun with that though, and you can make it like a banterous thing, or you could just do it in your own way. So yeah, that's kind of, I kind of look at the different sort of stuff.
Have you ever kind of looked at the listener feedback and been like, oh, they want me to try this, and then thought about it and been like, nah, that's not for me?
Oh yeah, all the time, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, because obviously you want to, there's an audience there, and you're trying to make, you want people to enjoy it. You're making it for a purpose. They are. I'm fully aware that they're being, I do make them for myself in this, at the start I certainly write scripts for myself, but like it'd be really strange to go, I don't consider who's going to listen to this, at all. That'd be really strange, and not the right idea. So that kind of, I do really sort of keep a feeler out of like what people kind of like, and what's kind of going down well and what's resonating. And then you do get these suggestions, and I do sort of go back and go, oh, well, maybe I could do that. And maybe, I'll start writing a little something, or I'll start like playing around with something. And I go, it just doesn't feel at this stage right now, like as of today, I couldn't do this justice. And sometimes it's just like, oh, well, I may sort of, I'll put it on the back burner. And then if I sort of feel like it a little bit later, I might approach it. But it's usually that you haven't, it's not the fact that you don't like the idea. It's usually that you just haven't found your in yet.
So in prep for our conversation today, so we had, Jules and I were listening to your first audio,
Yeah.
and then one of your most recent ones. So to that point of like putting your flavor on things, so Jules and I independently went to your first audio to pick like a 30 or 40-second clip to highlight. We picked the exact same.
Wow.
Same one.
Well, I'm very intrigued.
But so I'm going to play it for you,
Okay.
and then we'll talk a little bit about why we chose what we did.
Okay. I'm nervous.
You were actually the first person I thought of when I walked into this room. I saw that view, and I just knew that you would love it. You always said that you liked the water. You said it made you feel free. You said that you could imagine yourself floating alone like a ripple in the tide. How you would long to be that free. Of course I remember. I think I must remember every conversation we've ever had.
Wow.
So first of all, I'm usually doing chores or something while I listen to some audios. So I was actually loading the dishwasher. And when that specific part came on, I like paused halfway towards the dishwasher with a cup and just listened to it. I just absolutely loved, to me, that was a really great way to kind of show the Friends piece of it. I really just, that's what I kind of got out of it, is the way you were speaking. It just made me stop and say, oh, they're friends, but oh, the way that John is talking, I know it's about to change a little bit. And it just, I don't know, it just like really hit me. It was awesome.
Oh, thank you very much. That's an incredible compliment. Thank you.
What about you, Kaza?
Yeah, so I grabbed it because it was like, I think it shows such like kind of quintessential John as far as like how you pay attention and how you care about the listener in your audios, and how you make us feel like really kind of special and seen and understood and appreciated, and you did all that, and then also in your John way with beautiful language and the kind of like just how you worded it was beautiful. So it was like, yes, it's the precursor to where this is going to go, but it was just very John of like, yeah, it's like super caring and sweet before it gets really feral and nasty and nice.
Well, thank you very much. That's very good. Yeah, I must admit, I don't really remember sort of writing it. I think you're always looking for that. I think one of the trickiest parts to get right in any audio, and I'm not for one saying that I've nailed it, but the trickiest part is that kind of establishing and then into like the erotic part without it feeling like you're in an audio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want it to seem like it's genuine, and you want to feel like the listeners like getting there as well, like naturally through as the conversation progresses and stuff. And that's like a real challenge. So yeah, it was my first kind of crack at that sort of transition. It's really tough with like Friends to Lovers. I think it's one of the most difficult tropes to do that with, because you're already familiar with the character. So it's like kind of like, and you're already kind of maybe at that sort of banterous sort of stage, and trying to turn that into like serious and hopefully sexy is really tough. I think it's like Enemies to Lovers is so easy to do with Enemies to Lovers, because you've got all that frustration or that in the dialogue actually transitions really easily to sex, whereas like the kind of the kind of praise stuff, it doesn't, and you never want to make it seem like someone's kind of going like, I think I just sort of saying those kind things to get them into bed. You want it to be authentic and genuine. So yeah, it was my first crack at that.
So as you hear it back, since you don't remember writing it, what are your opinions and thoughts as you hear it?
I think the line's okay. I think when I hear it, I can picture myself trying to talk as croaky as possible, because that's what I think people want. But I was incredibly self-conscious sort of like recording this, because it was like the first time that I'd ever really done any of this, and you want it to be good. So that's what I hear. I hear me going, is this good? Is this what people want? Am I doing the right thing? Who
But
can I
also,
send this to?
also, I would imagine you were trying to also build yourself as the character. So,
Yeah.
this is you selling you. So
Yeah.
was there a part of it where you were also in your first audio trying to get across who you are?
Oh yeah, massively, yeah. And also, but I felt like that was quite liberating because I was, almost 100% sure that this would be the first time that anybody listening to this will have ever heard of me. Maybe one person might have listened to like the Disney audiobooks or something, but like for most part, this is like a fresh new sort of stuff. So I found that quite liberating because I was like, I could be anything. Like, I mean, it turns out it turned out to be just me. But like the idea behind it was actually quite liberating, really.
When did you sort of first identify that you were building a following?
Oh, I don't know. That's a really good question. I suppose it had been around the time that I started Patreon. And so I knew of like Patreon. I knew the way that different creators use Patreon and all that sort of stuff. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would actually have anybody sign up for it. But it was like really, so that was always in the back of my mind. And then from a little bit of conversation, I knew other creators kind of had it, and I started to get like a little bit of interest from people going like, is there any sort of other kind of platform, like where do we gather sort of idea? And then it was really quickly it was like, you want to gather, okay, let's gather, let's do it. And then now if you look at like where it is, and I mean that no words sum up what that community is. I mean, to me one thing, but just also just in general, other people are jealous of this community, which I lord over.
As you should.
Yeah.
As you should.
But it's one of those
Yeah.
things that I know that AJ said this, so I'm going to steal it off him. But the idea of his name on the door, but it's the actual community that make all of this and make it all happen and stuff, and that's absolutely the case. It's got nothing to do with me. It's all it's all stems from the community itself. So I would be the worst person to ask, how would you start a community? Because I've no idea. I'd looked out completely and just for some whatever reason just stumbled across a load of really lovely souls who wanted to get together.
The people who found you and wanted to gather and chat found you because of your work, right? Like they resonated with work that you put out there, and wanted to talk to more people about it, and then wanted to gather. So
Yeah.
you did create the community. I know AJ says the same thing, but yes, it is your name on the door. But you brought all of these kind of like-minded souls together through showing up authentically as you.
Well, I will take it. I will
Okay, good.
absolutely
Yes.
take it.
Wouldn't have found each other without it.
Well,
Credit.
I'm happy to take that part. I'm happy to. That was my part in this.
Was there one of your audios that you put out that you weren't really sure how it was going to land, which made your listeners like absolutely feral, and you were like, really, that one? That surprised you?
Yeah, stripped back. I thought that was going to die on its ass. If I'm
Oh,
honest,
really?
yeah, because it was that kind of breaking the fourth wall. Like I think that was the first time I kind of did it properly. I sort of hinted when I did the one was that I was the naughty narrator. Which I so wish I waited on that idea and did it later, because I think it's such a fun idea. But yeah, so anyway, but when I did that naughty narrator, I remember somebody did a like a review of it, and it was the first time that I'd heard like my work like been reviewed. Like I think it was from a clip from a podcast that I was sent. And they were like, "Oh, it's so meta because obviously I am and was an audiobook narrator, so it was like the kind of like, oh, it's a little bit of like a nudge to the the audience and stuff." And they kind of started commenting and going like, "Oh, it's really funny," or "It's a really like it was kind of like a cool concept," sort of doing that. And then I mean, I love it when stuff breaks the fourth wall, it totally just drops down and goes like, "This is what we're going to do." And so I was like playing around with that idea of like, how can I kind of do that? And then, but I'd always sort of shied away from rambles, thinking like I could never be. I don't know how to approach a ramble without me feeling more self-conscious. And it just so happened that like I was trying to create stuff, and I was getting really sort of stressed out, and I was trying to come up with like characters, I was trying to come up with all this stuff. And for whatever reason, it just all sort of aligned. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to just do it now as me. and like how I feel. I'm going to be really vulnerable and open. And I was like, I'm an artiste, and this is gonna, do the thing. And then I recorded it and like submitted it. I was like, oh my god, that was a terrible idea. It's like going to be like, oh, John attempts a ramble, like sort of thing. So yeah, it was, and then the reaction to that was really lovely, actually.
Well, from a community perspective, if you want to know the inside conversations that were happening, John, I don't want to make you too awkward about it, but it was like, fucking hell, John's doing a ramble, fucking hell. Stop the press. Right, quit work, leave work early, don't go into work, call in sick, and John's doing a ramble. So I mean, it was top notch.
It's so lovely to. Do you know? It's so strange with rambles, because I've done a few now, and you're kind of in on a ramble. Usually, is I'm going to sort of strip things away, and this is going to be a very kind of honest and vulnerable encounter for the next like however long. So you would think it would be like the easiest thing to do, but like I always find that it's like the most hard. There's nothing to hide behind. It's just you and your thoughts and you can't go, oh, bad line of dialogue, sorry guys. It's like, but like with anything, the more you get in your own head about it, the worse it is. And when you kind of, if you're recording it, if you sort of wake up in 20 minutes and go, oh, I've done it, that's going to be a good one, because you've truly sort of lost yourself in it. So and that's you can't do a ramble any other way. I don't think. I can't anyway. And then when you're listening back to it, you don't remember saying any of the stuff that you said. I do struggle. I know, poor me.
Poor baby.
I mean, for me, I think rambles are the closest that you can connect without being parasocial to your favorite creator, because it does. I mean, the title "Strip Back," it says exactly what it is. You're stripping back everything, and you are you. And I think it has a deeper connection and resonance within the listeners. So I think that's why they work.
Yeah, it's definitely that kind of idea of, I'm going to open up and let myself out, or let like the listener in, whichever way you want to kind of do it. And although it is scary, and it's, because you sort of open yourself up to anything then, in terms of like comments about like, because it is actually just about you now. It's not about like your dialogue or your whatever. It's just about you. But I do think the sort of payoff for that is that because listeners can tell when it's not genuine, and they can tell when you're not, your heart's not in it.
Yeah.
And if you ever are having a tough day, John, let me tell you, go read the comments on Strip Back, because it will perk you up immediately. There's some of the best.
I do.
He's got them tattooed on his inner thigh.
Well, Smudge just does a thumbs up because she's a passive aggressive.
But now I know that means
That's
the world.
Everything. Yeah, that means you've got my heart and my vagina.
Yeah.
So what's a sort of skill, a million plays in now, what's a skill or a sort of in your mindset that you've developed over this time that's changed how your creative process works?
Yeah, I think I've gotten better. And I don't mean I've nailed this by any means. I think I've gotten better at the establishing where we are in the sort of conversation without doing too much of the, what do you mean? And then quote the exact thing that you want the audience to know. Like, I'm kissing you now, and like stuff like that. And that's not getting anybody off. So like, I suppose I hope I've gotten better at that, and just allowing the kind of imagination, because that's the whole reason why people enjoy like audios in this format so much, just because it allows you to explore in your mind. It's reading the book rather than watching the movie. You're allowing your own brain to do the work, and it's so much more fulfilling, and you can get so much better sort of quality time with yourself through all of this. And so it's all, I think I've gotten a little bit better about the way that I'm formatting those stories to that end, hopefully.
I knew, because of your narration background, that you would be very narrative to start off with. So yes, your first audio, you had approximately 14 and a half minutes of getting to set the scene, whereas in your most recent one there was about 6 minutes.
Okay.
So yes, you have definitely shortened that, and your skills have been gained in the narrative of setting the scene in less than 14 and a half minutes.
It's good to know. I think it's a strange one, because sometimes with the setup, it's like the story's like a massive part of it as well, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it's like your dynamic between like, myself and the listener may not need that much of a setup. Like if we're already, romantically involved, if we're already kind of established in that, obviously it's going to be like a lot less time for that transition. But then, yeah, I think with some stuff you do need that kind of bigger sort of transition, and then sometimes you get a bit carried away with writing it. Truthfully, so it's not like you're just sort of having fun with like the banter and everything. Like for me, it's like a lot of like my like friends to lovers stuff starts when I can think of like a joke, which is not the way to approach an audio. I don't think. I think I would advise against it, but it's the way that I kind of get into it. Is that you sort of think of a joke and then build things around it and then go, okay, well, how do I actually make this, fit the idea, and like, or where I'm like looking for the eroticism within this.
Do you ever surprise yourself with what you're willing to say now, or is it kind of old hat at this point for you?
No, it's definitely not old hat. I think do you know what? It's more in the sort of like way that I say things that I surprise myself rather than the actual things that I say. I try not to kind of script too much of that, because I think you don't want to hit beats. You want it to be natural, and you want to do so much more storytelling with the breath and with with your like moan placement, and like this that tells a story in itself. And that's something that I've learned like through all this time, is that like well-paced breaths will tell a better story than you going, shall we stop for a bit? Shall we start again? And so I suppose while sort of been in that kind of mode, because you have to be picturing, you have to be in it in your head. Then obviously you get sort of swept up in stuff, and then a way like saying something in a certain way will come out, and you think, oh, I'm really getting into this. But no, yeah, it's definitely sometimes, yeah.
Is there anything that you've ever said that made you blush?
No, I don't know if I've ever made myself blush. I remember giving AJ the script for the latest one that we did, and and hearing him say it, like say the words back that I'd written down, and then like immediately that made me blush, because I was like, "Is that good? Is that because you start questioning yourself again and stuff." And so yeah, it was that made me feel a little bit like, oh, I really hope this. But again, it all comes from that. I really hope this sort of fits. I really hope this sort of sounds as I want it to in this stage. Obviously, it helps when you've got a gorgeous voice saying it back, such as AJ's. But still, the idea behind like,
Right.
I hope that this is, or you'll say that, oh, that was a little bit like, that was a little out there. And then you sort of testing the waters of, do you think anything different of me?
Yes, and actually, speaking of that, I want to play you a clip from "You Are Infuriating."
Okay.
Oh, you fucking thing. Turn around. Chest against the dolls. I don't care if they're cold. Us pointed out. Fucking stick your ass up towards me.
A little bit of a diversion from our typical John. The tags in there, which are not common for you, hate sex, degradation, where it's, you are doming the whole situation, which I think I remember you saying that you were like, I don't know how, this is going to be split on what people think of this.
Yeah, definitely.
Were you surprised at the reaction? Was it what you expected? What was the reaction in your experience?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't necessarily that I was like surprised. I think it found its audience, and I think that maybe because it was so different from what like I did, and that was kind of like the appeal of it, is to just try something. And I think I was just I was frustrated with my own tennis abilities, and I thought, I'm gonna shove this in an audio and get raged about it. But like, yeah, I mean, the kind of like thought behind it was, I'm gonna try and just be totally different. I'm gonna try and look at a story completely differently. Still, the only way I could get it in my head, like find my in, was like, these people are like equal adversaries. They respect each other in the sense of like they're on the same playing field. So there is that respect there. I saw it as that. That was the way that I kind of found my in. But even so, yeah, I don't know if it I don't know if it shocked me. It found its audience, and I know that some people really liked it. I know that some people really hated it, and I know that some people didn't want to sort of, listen to it for lots of other reasons. That's so important that they know that about themselves, and they're able to kind of go, do you know what? I'm going to skip this one out, and that's totally cool. Um, but yeah, I don't think I could do it every week with that because I don't
Hmm.
find. I think it's because I'm so sensitive in real life. I
Hmm.
have to be in like a really sort of specific mood to find like my, yeah, as I said, my kind of in of that sort of stuff. I need to be told I'm fantastic and beautiful and brilliant and amazing every 2 seconds. So that's where I feel most comfortable with kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I just need to be told I'm a slut like every day. It's fine. The difference in opinion.
You see, so
Um,
if people call me a slut, immediately I'm like, but in a good way though, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a
Positive,
very
right?
good slut, John. A
in
very good slut.
but in a way that like I'm meant to be, and you like it, and like we're all having a great
Yeah.
time, and like
Do you do much improvisation of sexy lines?
no, for the actual sex, for the sex part, most of it's improvised. I'd say, yeah, 99% of it. I might think of like a good line that I think, oh, that's different, or that's new, or that's or especially I tell you when it's if you're doing anything like kind of historical, because it's the wording that would needs to be
Mm.
right. So I will write. So I've got something coming out that's. Oh, I don't know. I don't know when this is going to come out. It might have already come out, hopefully. So when you're doing stuff that's historical, the wording of it matters a lot. You don't want to be, in the 1400s going, that's fucking great, that love. You don't, that doesn't sort of fit. And if you're sort of improvising stuff, it does naturally sort of come out as you like right now, or like the things that you would say or things that you do say. And that's not appropriate for the material. So I will write things out, the wordings of stuff. And then who knows, you might sort of get into the head of somebody from whenever and be able to improv some lines. But if it's like contemporary, yeah, I just sort of go for it because you're trying to be genuine. You're trying to feel that, but and you don't know the pace either until you sort of get in with it. And you let that breath sort of lead the way, and then you can fit things in where you want to. But the intro and the outro is all like you've got to know what to say.
How do you balance the sweet and feral parts of you?
I don't really think about it. It's just kind of natural, really. Like my most frequent sort of comments on TikTok are all about like how different my sort of TikTok persona is to my like Quinn persona. But like
Mm.
truthfully, that I don't really look at it like that. I look at it as in like I'm just a real person and I'm just filming. So when I feel silly, I will record something silly. When I feel, when I'm in a bit of an arse and I want to moan about something, I'll just record that and I'll do that. And then Quinn's just that other side of, like we're all different stuff. And I think a lot of it comes from like self-conscious. I've been self-conscious actually in terms of like I can't really make social media content going like, look at me, you want me, or like all that sort of stuff. I just don't vibe with it. I don't
Yeah.
feel it just doesn't suit me, you know?
Mhm.
So I think that's where the sort of split comes from. So in terms of like a story, or if you're looking like an audio, it's just coming from like how I kind of feel about stuff in real. Like I love to have a laugh with somebody. I love to find that like cheeky side. I try not to take things too seriously a lot of the time. Um, and then I don't know. And then you sort of transition of okay, I'm serious now. This is what I'm like when I'm serious about this thing, and then this is what I'm
Mhm.
like when I'm like whatever. So yeah, it's just like an honest reflection, hopefully.
As you talk about all your audios, and you're talking about,
Mm.
I have to find my in, and I
Mm.
have to, be true to myself in the moment. Like, there's so much more that goes into this. Like, as a listener, it's easy for me to sit back and think, oh, okay, so you have a script, you might have just bullet points, you might have a full script. You
Mm.
go in there, go into the booth for 20 minutes and you just record it, and then,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of editing, and that's that.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many more layers to
Mm.
it that as a performer, because really that's what you are, and this, like,
Mm.
as a performer and as an actor, there's just so much more to it. And I guess that speaks to creators who really do it so well that as a listener, you don't think about the work that goes into it.
Well, I mean, that's what you strive for. And you can't, I mean, I can moan all day about Like, no, nobody understands how long this takes, so like all that sort of shit. But no one cares. They just want the thing, and rightly so, and I'm the same when I consume stuff. You want is the thing good or not? That's all anyone cares about. And how much does it cost? What's the price of the ticket?
Right.
And is it good? That's all anyone cares about. And so I think being mindful about that, about like actually that's all that matters is really helpful and stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's a few things. It does take a lot longer than people think. But also in terms of like, so I split things up into two sections. So you got the writing bit, and then you got the recording, editing, and sending it off, which is all just one part for me. For the writing bit, you cannot be busy in my head. Like, do you know that idea of like, is it Abe Lincoln who said, if I've got 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'll spend the first four. Yeah, I'll spend the first four sharpening the axe. So you got to sharpen your axe. You got to look at trees and listen to gossip, and you got to do all and procrastinate and just do nothing, and then you can get your ideas like fully formed. And then when you're doing the recording and the edit and everything, you need to be really, really busy because that's the only time you'll get it done.
From your first edit to your edit now, what's the time difference? So how long does it now take you to edit say an average audio? Have you found a quicker way to do it?
No, I can do it probably sort of an average sort of 20-25 minute thing. It depends what it is. If it's a collab, it takes a day, and that's like storming through. If it's like just a standard, if it's like something like a ramble or something, it'll take like an hour. It's really sort of quick. It really just sort of depends on how well it flows. If it's I start to panic if you're struggling with the edit to piece things together, you need to re-record, because you can tell it's all about that sort of, you want to try and get things as flowing as possible. So yeah, I mean anywhere between sort of like an hour or two.
What would your philosopher self say about hitting 1 million filthy plays?
My inner Seneca would say, just sort of keep it a bit,
Keep it real.
say thank you, and then yeah, and just focus on the thing that like actually matters, which is like being able to continue doing the thing that you feel rewarding, professionally. So that was if like hitting a mill helps me be able to make an audio next week, then great, give me two.
Because if you kind of zoom the camera out and look at it from a bigger perspective of like 1 million plays of your audios, the number of people who have been impacted by them. So it's not so much about you as it is about the listener and how much it's impacted. I mean, that's a lot of plays.
It's crazy, and I don't want for a second, even saying that not to think about it too much. I don't want for a second for people to think I don't appreciate it. Because of course, like I wouldn't be able to do it if nobody listened to it, and I wouldn't find nearly as much enjoyment doing it if people were in doing it. And I think, yeah, it all just again, it comes back. It all comes back to that, like trying not to freak myself out of like, focus on what you can control, and you can't control like people's reactions to stuff. So it's just like I'm gonna try really, really hard to make something that I think is good, and then when people, yeah, as you say, choose to like on their own time, because I know how much of a big ask getting somebody's time is, especially in today's world. So the fact for somebody to do it like week in, week out, and then especially like with your extracurricular stuff on Patreon and all things like that, I mean, that is a big thing to ask of somebody. So for somebody to do it on their own time, I mean, it's incredibly flattering.
All right, so now we're into the rapid fire
Mhm.
dirty dichotomies.
Love a good bit
Ready?
of wordplay. We do
Mhm.
here.
That's
Love it.
good.
Go ahead, Jules. Want to go first?
All right. I would love to. All right. Are you ready, John?
Sure.
Moans or dirty talk?
Moans.
Slow burn or fast and filthy?
Fast and filthy.
Role play or real talk?
Real talk.
Sweet talk or filthy praise?
Filthy praise. Because it's still praise, but you can pretend it's naughty.
I don't know how this one fell for me, but it's perfect. Here we go. Good girl or yes, daddy?
A good girl, I think, for me.
Edge you or wreck you?
I think Ed's,
Ooh,
Yeah.
you know how much we hate edging on QuinnCast. Just saying.
No, Jules hates
I
edging.
hate it.
I hate it.
Only when it's solo,
I'm a
though.
fan.
Only when it's solo. Over the desk or against the wall?
A wall.
And the final one, M sub or M dom?
Sub, I think.
I mean, I'm disappointed with 50% of them, John. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
fair. That's it's most of my comments.
But I am but 0.25% of your audience, John. We're okay. We'll let it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's got to be some audio inspiration in there, perhaps.
Yeah, certainly. I think, there's room for both.
So now, to circle back around, it's come time to listen to a clip from one of your most recent audios and see your thoughts and our thoughts on it. So we'll
Oh, yes. And this is
start with-
from We Shouldn't Be Doing This. Probably should have
Okay.
mentioned that. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Sorry, it shows one of the latest ones that you just listened to.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That's as far as I'll go in. I mean, I can try and push harder. Pass me that hammer, will you?
Pretty amusing.
The way I laughed at the way you opened that audio, I think it is probably my favorite opening of any audio I've listened to, and I'm not just saying that because it's you. I am
Oh,
not.
bless you. Thank
It's-
you.
Well, I mean, obviously, it sounds like something entirely different is going on, and that's the point. But it is just so funny. And John, I don't think you realize how freaking funny you are.
I'd like to say that it's a storytelling tool, and that's what I would lie to say. That if I could lie to you and say that I do it for that, but the truth is, I'm one of those really annoying people who can't help it, and I'll always try and pick a joke like at the most inopportune times or whatever. I can't, if I think of something, it has to come out and be said, which obviously isn't a great quality in somebody. But yeah, I mean, even I submitted a script for something this morning, and I was writing jokes in the action lines of the script that only they would read, and but I was dying thinking this is gonna be so funny. And I was more kissing, if you can believe, and just trying to make it just really stupid. And if you ask AJ or the devil or anything like that about my script, I would leave jokes inside for them to have while they're, and I can always tell when someone hasn't, AJ outed himself for this as well, that I knew he hadn't read the script before I sent him it because he laughed at one of the jokes, and it was a joke that you only laugh at once. So I was I knew it.
And when John says that about talking to AJ and the devil, it's not the actual devil. We are talking about Eric, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The devil of Dublin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Jules and I connected about this audio, she's like, please tell me you didn't choose the beginning. I'm like, no, because I knew you were going to, because you were cracking up.
Oh, thank you. No, yeah, thank you. That means the world. Thank you. But yeah, it's you got to have a laugh when you can do, I think.
Yeah, you have some of the best banter in your audios. It really, really good. Really good.
It makes it more real.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Completely.
so.
That balance of humor with the sex part of it, the sexy part of it. It does. It makes it just more genuine. So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
obviously the humor is the only reason I go into any audio.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's the only
that's
reason
it.
why I go to any sexual experience. It's just the laugh that you can
Exactly.
have.
Yeah.
So the clip I picked,
Yeah.
which we'll insert it,
Mhm.
careful, after,
Careful.
was really just your moaning.
Okay.
Roll the clip. It deserves its own featured spotlight. I think when we talk about John's audios, is you have top tier moaning, which we mentioned a little bit before, but this is what we hear in the communities a lot. We hear from people in the community.
In terms of the moaning, the I suppose the sort of key for me was to sort of think less about it, which you really got to get out of your head. And again, it's that idea of, well, there's silence there, or there's, I need to be saying something all the time, or I need to be doing something all of the time. And there's as quickly as you can sort of shake that habit, I think the better. And just sort of been a little bit more kind of natural, but then maybe turn it up just a a smidge.
Yeah, I think it can be quite a self-conscious thing, moaning for your, your own purpose. I'll hold my hands up and be honest, during intimate moments, sometimes I've heard myself and gone, really? That's the sound that's coming out of my mouth right now?
Totally.
Because you are conscious about it. And I think a lot of audios can sound like people are really forcing it out, and they're actually more self-conscious about it than they're portraying. And some of them are very natural. And John, you fall into that natural.
Well, thank you. It's really weird. I mean, there's a whole conversation there to be had about that in like real life and like why people sort of tend to like sort of shy away from it. And I've been like that, and I totally get it, and I totally appreciate where that's sort of coming from. But I suppose it's because what moaning is well, these two things. The first bit is obviously like an exhale of pleasure, right? But then it's also used as a communication tool to let the other person know that you're enjoying it, which is really important. It's really, really important because especially because you can become self-conscious incredibly quickly in intimate situations, and but also on the flip side, if you're sort of hovering over someone going, you're doing great, you are just smashing, like you are killing this.
You're
this
just
is
smashing.
Yeah, like it's this is the best Thursday I've ever had. Like that's gonna kill the buzz. That's gonna kill the magic, right? So it works really well for that in terms of communicating that you want to be there and something's working. But also as well, because like a shift in that, it communicates like it's a way of sort of saying, oh, I like the thing you did before, or like the thing that you're doing right now. That's perfect, without sort of coming across, without having to say as much, which you should always feel comfortable saying as much. Just want to say it. But anyway, it allows you to kind of do that and sort of you can lead a lot by moaning. So I guess that's the kind of way they sort of look at it as well, is that and also the kind of natural kind of ebb and flow of like a real experience. I was a little bit, I think that's been very generous of myself. I was a little bit performative at the start. And then again, it kind of, I was like, no, natural, just,
Yeah.
Natural, be smashing. Do a smashing job.
Yeah.
John.
I'm loving this.
Fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I know part of your merch line is a shirt that says moaning tag.
Yeah.
Which is so fitting because it really is one of the things that you're known for, other than like golden retrievers, boyfriend energy, but the moaning is talked about a lot in circles. In fact, I was in a Discord yesterday of a different creator, and someone had mentioned your name, and someone said, "Oh, I haven't listened to that yet," and a bunch of people were like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, and I think there were probably 2 or 3 women that jumped over to your Patreon immediately because people were like, "You have to hear his not safe for work audios in his Patreon," and they come back, they're like, just signed up." And people were saying like, "Where do you hear the moaning?"
And I do think as well that it shows how much women like to hear a man moan, because I think it's something that if we put our hands up and if we're that way inclined and we are sleeping with men, that they aren't vocal enough. Like some of them are just dead, and you're like, are you here? If you close your eyes, it's like, are they here? Are they in the room? We like to hear, and I think that's testament to how many moaning tags there are out there, that women do love a good old moan.
It's a little bit of a revelation, really, because if you think about like the traditional sort of guy, like we're not kind of told this like early on, and especially if you're going to sort of especially nowadays, and I shudder to even say this, but it is a reality that so many young men are getting their education, and I am using air quotes for those who are listening, because it's certainly not one, but they're getting it from like traditional porn, and in that the guy does nav all, right? So and the focus is away from it. So to be fair to a lot of guys, we're not necessarily told that that's like a thing that people enjoy, and I think a lot of us feel super self-conscious about it and like all that kind of thing. And it was only through it's a little bit before, but it was only really in the past sort of few years that I've kind of given myself permission to actually okay, well, I'm gonna try and be a little bit more authentic in this experience, and I'm gonna potentially look like a twat But yeah, I for one are on the team of give it a try.
I think that the kind of way you just put it is so important, is that it is a communication tool. It's not just
Yeah.
like a noise that you're making. It is a communication tool of like what's working and what's not.
I think growing up as well, I watched a movie called Porky's, and the
Yeah.
big scene in it was the, they called her Lassie, and she was up in the locker room and having sex with somebody, and she was very loud to the point where she howled like a dog, which is why her nickname was Lassie. And I was like, and everyone was laughing in the movie, and I was like, oh my God, that's a bad thing then. So it's a bad thing to make a
Yeah.
sound. Okay, so I won't, because I don't want to be
Yeah.
called Lassie.
So over the year plus and the million plays,
Yeah.
what have you learned anything new about yourself in terms of sexuality?
Do you know, it's honestly in my head, I know that my family will listen to this, so that's what stopped me from answering, if I'm honest.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think yes. I don't know how much I can tell you though, but yes.
Okay.
Have you learned some new techniques, is what we're asking.
Maybe I think. Do you know what?
I wasn't asking techniques for the record.
Do you know what? I've learned a lot more about kind of like self-acceptance actually. That's a good sort of boring answer to take away from
There you
this,
go.
isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I've learned a lot about more like self-acceptance, and it's really weird because it doesn't always translate as in ways that you may think it does. And it can actually, I've never heard anybody talk about this, so I don't know how relevant or interesting it is. It's very woe is me, which I get. But like, especially if the person who you're having intimate relations like knows what you do, that's a really weird dynamic because you never want to be like have you just fucking used like something that someone says is good, or like,
Right.
or you never want to sort of like say something, it doesn't get the response that you want. You think, well, I've got 100 comments here that actually say that it's a very good line. You
They
never,
liked it.
you couldn't, like,
Yeah.
you can't be that, like, you can't be in that space. I mean, how damaging for everybody involved. So that's an area that is, I haven't heard anyone talk about that before, but
That's a
yeah.
really good point, though. That's a good point.
Really good. I would never have thought of that.
Okay, what standards have you set for yourself that you then have to worry about falling short?
Well,
Or like, yeah,
there's, I mean, there is that to it, but also it's like you have like the version of you that you present to the world, and then you have the version of you that differs, and in slight ways that you have like in different, in different areas of your life and all that sort of stuff. And I think that you never want to be sort of, I don't know, my sort of biggest fear has been caught out trying to like be that bring that version over to you, because like it's been focus grouped that you're a likable chap, and like it's like saying a joke. If you say a joke to somebody and they don't laugh, and then you go, well, actually I told it to my uncle yesterday and he guffawed, and he's like, well, it doesn't matter, does it, because your audience there didn't laugh. So yeah, it's a conundrum.
A million plays, John.
Yeah.
So how are you celebrating?
I am celebrating by, well, do you know, can I give you the honest answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
So my parents track the numbers. My parents are all over this, right? And because they're very supportive, and they've done like stuff in this world, like not audio erotica and stuff, but the romance and it in as creatives and stuff themselves. So they understand this world like very much. And they're very supportive, and very happy that I'm able to make a living doing this sort of stuff. And my dad especially is very numbers based. He's very, loves a spreadsheet. So he will be the first person to sort of reach out when any sort of milestone is crossed. So usually it'll probably be a bit of a phone call and a bit of me going, thanks. Yeah,
Wow.
no, I'm really, really fortunate. And it's nice as well being able to talk about stuff and talk about worries, or talk about like ideas, about not like in like great detail, but like my mum will tell me scenarios, ideas. Like she'll go like, oh, she'll kill me for saying this, but she'll be like, she's like really close with her hairdresser, and obviously what salons are like.
yeah.
You know, you hear everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my god, I could hear her going, I can't believe you said that. But like, so you may say like, okay, get this, you know, so and so. I go, yeah, okay. Well, they've done this or this happened like that. Good audio. And I'll be like, oh, whatever, you know, whatever, like playing it off. And then a few minutes later, I'll be like, that is a really good idea. Like, you know.
I love you get ideas from your mom.
At least it's your mum getting ideas from somebody else and not your mum and dad giving you ideas.
No, that would
You know,
be
no.
traumatizing, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
that would be
that's
terrible.
a therapy session.
Yes.
My final question before the other two ladies decide if they have any is,
Yeah.
have you discovered any new kinks for yourself through your work with Quinn? You don't have to say what it is, but because like we talk about as listeners how we've learned so much about ourselves.
Yeah.
And interest in things that we didn't know, like, oh God, I didn't realize I would like that.
Yeah.
Is the same for creators?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that idea of it being like, I'm hate to admit this, I can't actually remember who was the original person who said it. I think it was Bad Influence who told me, but I think he credited somebody else. So anyway, somebody is the idea of it being a self-discovery tool. It's a mirror. It's a reflection of this for yourself, and you can, you know, use it for. It's all about you. It really truly is a reflection on you, and that works the other way around as well. It works for the creators as well. Is that if you're writing, like for me, it all stems from like the writing side of things, because that's where you're going, okay, well, what do I find sexy about this scenario, or how would I try and like make a move on this person, and like so you sort of like think it, and then you think, well, hang on a sec, I've written. It's like, to use an example, this isn't one, believe it or not, but I'll use it as an example. Like I've written like the last like 5 things I've written has all involved the bath, and it's
Yes.
like. And you're like, maybe there's something there. Like, you know, so you do get like little things in your head that you're like, well, I've done, you know, like a certain scenario, maybe keep coming back. You know, I'm not saying that I want to go and fuck all my friends because I might make loads of friends to lovers stuff. I'm not saying that.
In the bath.
In the bath. There's nothing more awkward, by the way, than explaining to your friends that you write mostly friends to lovers stuff. That's another one. And they're like, what? So explain it to me. It's like, oh, so we meet and stuff, we're chatting, but then we start kissing. And but
They're like, oh.
yeah, they're like, oh, okay. What now? But so you do sort of start to unravel things, and you think, oh, well, I've written that, or I've written that approach into a story so much, maybe there is something there and then you can explore and you know, figure stuff out.
Yeah, just like listeners.
Yeah, exactly.
One of us.
We're all in this journey together.
Okay, so my last question, John, if you could collab with anybody in the next, you know, million plays, who would it be?
Is it on Quinn or just anybody?
Anybody collabing?
Oh gosh, I would like Phoebe Waller-Bridge to write the script. I think she's so. I mean, I love it to bits. Like I don't know her, by the way, but like I love my idea of her. The idea that I projected onto her, I love. But I think she's not underrated in terms of that she's rated very highly. Like everyone I know like loves her to bits. But I still think she's an underrated writer. I think she's a genius. So I would love for her to write me a script and then me sit next to her and go, why did you do that? Like,
it could happen. She could listen to QuinnCast. So Phoebe Waller-Bridge, if you are out there, please get in touch, because we want to put you in touch with John York for the collab of the century.
Yeah. She's my number one for like an original. I would lose my mind if she was brought in for an original.
Well, I do not have a question for you because you have answered all of them, but I do just want to say congratulations on 1 million plays, and I'm excited for the next million.
Oh, bless
Hell
you.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
God, yeah.
No, it's been lovely, guys. Thank you so much for having me on again.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. It's nice to chat with you wwithout AJ interrupting and bothering us.
No, I miss him.
Don't say right. We're editing that out for a start. Yes, well, it's been lovely, John. Genuinely lovely, and absolutely couldn't happen to a nicer human being. To get 1 million plays, and long may it carry on, and long may you grow. Careful. And the impact you've had in the communities is so great and so positive, and safe spaces, and yeah, just thank you.
Oh, well, that's amazing. I have no words that can let you know how much I appreciate that. Thank you.
Tell me to
And
get on my
thank
knees.
um, yeah, just thank you so much for having me, and yeah, and for being with me on this journey for however long it's been. And yeah, but thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thanks for spending your time with us. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Thanks.
See you later.
He's the best.
God,
John.
John York. John motherfucking York.
John motherfucking York.
no, John motherfucking Million Play York.
Oh my.
Oh.
Ooh, smudgy.
I mean, 1 million plays. What is
Oh,
like he said in the interview? Like, that's a number I can't even wrap my head around.
Right.
Oh.
What an accomplishment.
Yeah.
When he said that at the very beginning, how he was striving for 100,000 plays sounds great. You know,
Yeah.
sounds unattainable. And then fast forward.
And he's hit the monumental moment of 1 million.
Ooh,
Oh my God, say that fast.
that alliteration.
We love some alliteration here.
Oh
at
my
QuinnCast.
Monumental
God,
moment of 1 million.
I just moaned
that
into the
was our-
microphone hearing you say that.
Yeah,
That was our first installment of this fun little new series.
I know, how
Monumental
cool.
Moments.
And I wonder who the next monumental moment will be.
It's exciting, and also, ladies, we have to like really come up with a system to pay close attention to when people are hitting milestones.
It's true.
Yeah.
Jules.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
On it.
Stato.
Oh no, poor me.
Awesome. Poor Jules, paying attention to milestones.
So the first new series segment done.
In the bag.
Monumental moment. In the bag. So thanks everybody, as always, for listening to QuinnCast. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did, and the future monumental moments to come. Please be sure to comment. We love reading your comments. It really keeps us in this game. Rate us, share it with people, all the things. Listen to it several times. It's fantastic. Thanks again for listening. We'll be back with you soon. For now, this has been Kaza. Your voice matters.
This has been Jules. Go put those lips to good use.
And this has been Smudge. Keep wanking.